Hi there, we are going to go to the Big Goodwill. I haven't been here in a long time, so I thought it was time to go. The first thing that grabbed my attention was this Mary or Madonna and Child little figurine, and I noticed that it had some chips on the side, and I thought, oh gosh, it must have fallen. But Mary and Jesus themselves were in great shape. And then I pulled the sticker back, and I realized it was Holt Howard from 1959. This is what it should look like. It should have had two attached candle holders on either side, but I decided to get it anyway. Next to it was Joseph and baby Jesus, but this I felt wasn't as old, and so I put that back on the shelf. And I'm going to find a lot more religious items at the Big Goodwill, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if someone donated their entire collection because it was a giant collection, or if they had a booth or they had a store. But anyway, it was a religious themed visit to Goodwill. Here were some trinket dishes and a soap dish. And I'm moving on. This little piggy has a broken leg and a broken ear. We're in the white section. It was very, very crowded. The shelves were very, very crowded. They usually go through and periodically clear out the shelves, and it seemed like they hadn't done that in a while because they were overflowing. Looking at the mugs, and then there was this little trinket dish, I think, or you could probably maybe hang that on the wall. But I didn't really see anything besides the Mary figurine. This was decorated. To me, it looked like it had been decorated with pen. And then on the top shelf, they had all these milk glass vases. They were only $1.99 each. Then further on down, they had some polar bear figurines, but they were made of resin and really lightweight. Here was Saint Therese. You can tell it's her because she holds a cross with roses in one arm. And then across from it, I thought was Mary, and maybe, well, I know it's Mary, but I thought maybe it was Lenox, but it was just marked made in China and didn't have the Lenox symbol. So I put the two of them together. And here we are in the red section. I was kind of goofing around. Oh, look, a fairy lamp. I know they don't go together. But then these caught my eye because of the bright colors on them. They were a stack of trivets with a rubber backing, and they were made for Avon. And I did like them, but I didn't take the time to look them up and comp them to see if they sell for good money. I was trying to make out what it said on it. So I did leave those there. Sometimes I do stop and look up comps, but if the store is crowded, it doesn't look crowded right there. There's just one other lady in the aisle with me. But sometimes I take the time, and sometimes I just go by instinct. There was a souvenir from Colorado. I like the butterfly on it. At first I thought those were enamel, but they were not. You can see how crowded everything is. I wasn't quite sure what this was until I flipped it over. I think it is a bank to collect money. So there's another religious item. There's the Holy Family to the left of that brown figurine. I picked up this Monster High doll because they can sell for good money, but she was a smaller version and was kind of in rough shape, so I did leave her there. Looking further down the aisle in the brown section, didn't see anything that jumped out at me until I saw this. L.E. Smith Amber, the Moon and Stars. Amber is kind of more of the more common glass colors, but I have sold this piece before, and I thought, well, I'm going to get this one. There were no chips or cracks, so I flipped it over and put it in my cart. It's like a little stove. This is like a little heater that looks like a stove. They have like some scent things in here. I think that's cute, and there's no damage to it. I like it. Okay. I wonder if this is Japan or Czechoslovakia. Let's look. I like the color. There's no damage. I get that. And this is kind of different here. This Studio art pottery piece, student piece. Oh, here's a St. Jude. I've sold this. That's St. Jude, not Jesus. St. Jude, he holds a coin of Jesus. I've sold that before. Put this up here. There we go. Third. All right. Look. That's cute. Look at that. And the baby. I have a baby. It's not old, but it's still cute. Sometimes you might come across this. It comes in blues and greens, and this gold I think is the most common. Spin West Potter's Studio. It's cute with the carrots on it. You can see how full the shelves are. And I felt this was more of a contemporary paint your own pottery piece, even though the style with the colors that they use, you see a lot in vintage items. But to me, I think it was a paint your own pottery piece. So I did leave that there. They had some wine glasses, champagne glasses, and then I thought this piece was really pretty. This pink glass piece, little covered candy dish. It was $6.99, as you can see there. I decided to leave that on the shelf though. And then when I put that back, I realized there was a bunch of this china. See if this is marked. Oh, they have it covered up and it's missing its lid there. It's like, oh, here in the back they have the plates. Go with it. Oh, it's not marked. That would have gone together. A little snack plate. These. Fish in their little cups. That's sweet. $6.99 for that. I am not going to get that. Here's some more religious things. Ooh, that's pretty. That's stone, handcrafted in India. It's heavy. See if there's anything else. Checking the end cap, I came across these two Stangl cups. I believe they were both Stangl. I didn't really look at it. I was kind of just going like, yeah, that's Stangl. And then they had a whole bunch of this chicken dishware and a teacup and saucer. And at first I didn't think the saucer went with the teacup. I still kind of don't think they did, but maybe they did. See some blue lusterware. Oh, it's from Busch Gardens. It's a souvenir. They tend to put a lot of dishes on the end caps, so I was looking to see if there was anything that I could buy, mostly looking for creamers and sugars and gravy boats and butter dishes, odds and ends and things like that. I used to sell these at the Hallmark store when I worked at the Hallmark store. It's called Just the Right Shoe. So I'm going to look these up and see if there's worth anything. You see these little lights for, oh, that's for, light. Oh, and I had one of these too. I had one of these. I had, My Name is Michael. I had that one. There were 4 of the Just the Right shoes in that bag. One was broken, and when I went to see if I could fix it, it broke completely in half. So out of the bag of 4, 3 are in really good shape. I thought this was a pretty vase, but I knew I had just picked up those other vases. See another Jesus ornament, and then there was a crucifix, and I thought that maybe this went to a Last Rites box. I think it did, just because of the opening on the back, but it was just the cross, well, the crucifix. And then this is a Fenton. I believe it's Fenton. This is Daisy and Button. It's a canoe in the amethyst purple color, and there's just a tiny little flaw to it, but I thought that was neat, and because we have a canoe, I grabbed that. And I saw this on an end cap. I thought this was adorable, made in Japan, a flocked koala piggy bank. And then on an end cap, they had this Franciscan white stoneware. They had a whole bunch of it. They had the plates, and I'll show you what else they had. Oh, here in the back. And some plates. Look that up. This is really sweet. It's a planner. I think that's really sweet, and has a little sheep there, or a little lamb. I think that's so adorable. We are interrupting our shopping trip by sharing some artwork by Jenny. So Jenny has a very, and not just because I'm her mom, she's a very, she has a very, not wild imagination, but very active imagination. And she loves to draw, so she combines those two things and comes up with new ideas, original characters or OCs of people that she shows that
I watch, or video games that I play, or just stuff that I just come up by myself.
She comes up with inspirations of, what if I do this and do that? So last night she said, what if I come up with people from our dogs?
Yeah, what if I turn our 4 dogs into humans?
So she decided to go with Barney, and this is Barney.
First, because I just had a really funny idea that I would really like to explain a bit.
So let me tell you a little bit about Barney. So we got Barney as a puppy, and he is a part Boston Terrier, part Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
She always had to explain it because I always forget. I just call him Little Cow because, I mean, come on.
He does look like a little cow because he's spotted. So he has both of those characteristics from those breeds of being a lap dog, even though he's probably about 30 pounds. He's a good-sized dog. He's our oldest of our pack here. We don't know how old our bulldog is, but Barney is definitely coming up on 8 years old. So he's a very good boy. He gets a lot of compliments from the viewers because everyone likes his look. If we had named him Barney, I think a good name would have been Snoopy because he has that white face.
Yeah, because he has the full white face, but the only part... Basically, he's only black, well, basically brown, because it's actually brown, not exactly a black, but, because his whole body is just his front that's, white, and his sides only have the spots.
And when we give him a bath, you can see he's more spotty underneath, like the Boston Terrier. So, we ready to reveal what he is as a person?
Yes.
So there's Barney as a person.
I just really like him. I think he looks adorable, so I guess sorry.
So it's okay. So he has spotted skin. He has a vitiligo, but Jenny made it darker, and he has that because his skin is spotted on his chest.
Just like
you
his
can't
fur.
really see from that picture, but he does have spotty skin.
And blame mine for being such a photo drama because he kept moving.
Oh yeah, was it hard to take his picture?
Yeah, it took me the third try to get it right because he kept moving his head at the right time.
So he looks a little worried here. Why do you have Barney the human looking a little worried?
Because he's really like this in real life.
Worried.
He is constantly worried about everything.
So that is why you have his body kind of folding one arm over.
Trying to protect himself.
Right. Yes. So he likes the quiet, and the real Barney does like the quiet. He does not like 4th of July. He doesn't like noises. He doesn't like when Jenny sings. He doesn't like anything loud. And he loves being with his brother Charlie, and Charlie's our little chocolate Pomeranian. Go ahead.
So I put crowds underneath it because I just feel like if Barney was a human, I feel like he'd be an introvert. So basically, people probably know this, but I'm just going to explain it anyway. So basically, he doesn't really like being around giant crowds or a lot of people.
Right. Or maybe if there was a crowd, if they were very, very quiet.
Yeah, he'd be a bit more comfortable, but I just kept picturing him as an introvert.
And here we are. He has his pants and his shoes. So why did you pick those colors, like for his sweater?
Because, like I said before, the spots are just a really dark brown and not black, but because I use pants and the hair as black, so I just kind of put some brown on there.
Very good. So Jenny's going to, you have anything else to add?
I want to explain the hair a little bit.
Okay.
So, it's not, you can't exactly tell, but it's actually lighter. It's just appearing to be very black. But, you can't exactly tell, but I actually put brown tips at his edge of his hair because he has like brown spots.
He's kind of brindle colored in
Like
some areas.
Yeah, but like has some brown. So just like we can't exactly tell from the picture, but he actually has like brown around his spots.
Right.
That's literally the one good picture. And so I like anime, so I based this hairstyle off of my favorite character from MHA, also known as My Hero Academia, Tenya Ida's hairstyle. Because I just like kind of pictured him with this hairstyle and with the glasses.
And we both thought it suited him very well. So Jenny's going to make the other dogs in their human form.
Yep.
And we'll be sharing those in the next videos coming up. And we are thinking about having her maybe start her own channel of sharing her anime and her characters that
drawings.
She thinks of. So, because we think maybe kids or some kids or grandkids would be interested in anime also, and talking about just the different characters Jenny comes up with and things like that. So you might see her channel in the near future. But in the meantime, do you know the next dog you're going to do?
It either might be Susie or Indy, because I'm much better at drawing females than males. I mean, this is impressive for me just for this boy body, but let's just say I'm much better at females than I'm at males.
Well, I look forward to seeing the next human puppy dog. Thank you. In the case, this has a little seed still in it, and then this is a blown glass chicken. So we're going to take both of those and see what else we can find. I don't sell ties and I don't know anything about ties, but the graphics on these caught my eye. They were very soft, so I would assume that they were made out of silk. So I admired them and moved on because I don't usually sell ties. The theme at the Big Goodwill was religious items, and the theme at this Goodwill that's in Lancaster is owls. There was a lot of owl figurines and things. This is a tiny little vase, and it probably won't sell for a high amount of money, but it was only 99 cents, and it was a pretty blue color, so I thought I would put that in my cart. It was a little dirty, but I did get it mostly cleaned up. And then here was a covered butter dish of a little pig, but it had a chip. If I would guess that this was made in India. It was made of natural stone. It was on the heavy side, and I would guess it was a votive holder. See, here we go. Here's an owl. This was needle felted. Someone did a good job. And coming up, I thought that this might have been for your cat, because we have a cat and she scratches on a board that looks like that cardboard. So I don't know if this was decorative and they just happened to use the cardboard for cats, or this was for your cat to scratch. I definitely knew it was going to be an owly kind of day at Goodwill when I saw this figurine. It's a natural stone figurine. And then I recognized this as Harmony Kingdom. And this is the rhododendron, but it was just the bottom and it was missing its lid. So I decided to get the googly-eyed owl, and I was a little disappointed that the Harmony Kingdom did not have its lid. But I'm going to foreshadow here. We're going to find the lid. First, we're going to stop over in the Christmas section. They had some bags of things, so I think you should always look through the bags because there might be some vintage items in the bags, but all of these here were more contemporary, and I didn't really see anything that popped out at me like, take us home. We have really cool things inside. But I did look at them quickly to see if there was anything. There was some more on the top. It was nice that they were grouping them together. There was nothing in that box. Oh, they tricked us. And, oh, this Jenny collects these. And that had an angel. That was in good shape for $1.99. Usually they're chipped on the corners. I went back around into the clear glass section, and I thought this was really, really pretty. I like the little decorative details to it, but it was too much glass for me to ship. But it was very, very pretty. And then further down on the shelf here was Taylor Smith Taylor, and I have the gravy boat currently in my store. This is the sugar bowl because you can see that's where the lid would go. At first I thought I had the sugar bowl, and then research shows that it's a gravy boat. So this was the sugar bowl, but of course it was missing its lid, so that stayed on the shelf. I thought that maybe this was a Disney, like a old Disney little trinket dish, but it was not. So that went, I put it up higher so someone could see it. And then I'm looking, this is kind of, they have um, mismatch of stuff here in this aisle. They'll have what I can't think of the appliances, appliances mixed in with like coin banks, like this coin bank here. I was thinking about getting it, and I almost put it in my cart until I realized. What did I realize? Oh, on the top, it had a lot of staining on it, and it had a chip on its ear there. But I thought it was very sweet until I picked it up and looked. So make sure you look on the top and bottom as well. I tend to not really look on the top of things, usually the sides and the bottom. I was doing a second and final walkthrough, and on the end cap were these. I thought, wait a minute, this is more Harmony Kingdom. That's Sweet Serenade with the hummingbird, and this is Chrysanthemum, and there was the lid. So I went over and got the bottom of the rhododendron, and then I had to figure out, okay, who goes with who at first. I wasn't quite sure. Now, they had the lids priced separately from the base. The hummingbird was one price, but the other flowers were separated. And so when I brought them out to check out, I showed the lady, I said, these go together. I don't really think that they should be priced separately, but I was willing to pay them separately. She said, no, they're priced, but she gave them to me for one price each. So I was pretty excited to find those. And I had found the other Harmony Kingdom with the crocodiles a couple days earlier. And then here's the little figurine. I like picking up these little figurines. This one wasn't too terribly old, I don't think. So I did put her back on the shelf. And I thought this was a contemporary piece. And then I saw the bottom of it, and this was an older piece. This tricked me. It was a giant cupcake. And then this was a turtle, and it was someone had painted it, and it was cement. So it was deceptively heavy. And we're going to finish up this trip to Goodwill by looking at this false craft little jar. I hope you enjoyed Jenny's little art segment. We've been talking, like I said earlier, about her starting her own channel, sharing most of her artwork and her ideas and her anime. So we're hoping to put some videos together and launch it in the near future, not too distant future. Here's everything that I picked up. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I did get some messages from you saying that some of you had checked your subscription and it was you weren't subscribed anymore, so you resubscribed. So I appreciate that and your support of my channel. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see ya.